We good? Miss Dana, we good? Okay. I'm going to call the Star City Council meeting to order. It's Tuesday, April 5th, 2022 at 7 p.m. I'd like you all to please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. We're going to have Mr. Brian Howard with the Cause Church up here tonight for our invocation. Thank you, sir.
Neighbors, friends, gentlemen, ladies. All right, let's bow our heads. Father, we come before you right now, Lord. We just want to thank you for this beautiful day we had, this wonderful weather, Lord, this wonderful city that we live in, everything that you have given to us, Father. It comes from you, comes from your throne room down to us, Lord, and we're appreciative and thankful for it, Lord. Father, bless this meeting tonight, everything that's discussed, Lord God. Give the council people wisdom, Lord God. Let everybody that's in the audience that's going to be talking, Lord God, speak, Father God, from their heart, and your will be done in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. And the wonderful weather minus the mud we had yesterday, right? Except for the mud we had yesterday, raining out of the sky. Yes, yeah. Approve that. Roll call.
David Hershey. Here. Kevin Wheelock.
Here.
Trevor Chadwick.
Here.
Jennifer Salmonson.
Here.
Kevin Nielsen.
Present.
Okay, we're all present. Thank goodness. Mr. Nielsen made it out of India. That's fantastic. Nothing like getting the illness while you're overseas, right? That's the bad thing. So
It was wonderful.
yes. We're gonna have a presentation tonight by Mr. McQuaid, our Ada County assessor. He's gonna talk to us a little bit about 2021, I guess, our assessments. And, you know, I just real quick, we just want to thank Mr. McQuaid. He's retiring after this year, after how many years? 20 plus years?
28, yes.
28 years of being our assessor in Ada County. So we do appreciate your service to our community. So thank you, sir, very much.
That's so kind of you to say that. Thanks. I really have enjoyed almost every minute of it.
Almost every minute of it.
There've been some rough spots. It's so funny that people are running for assessor now. They're going out and talking to some groups, and it's amazing. It's like, oh my gosh, people are so angry about property taxes.
Right.
Hey, I go through this every day. Anyway, I just want to get started here. I'm going to just keep this to 10 minutes and then leave for a few minutes for questions if there are any. But first of all, I just want to say thank you for allowing us to have the motor vehicle shop out here at Star. That's really important to us. And I know the residents here and in the surrounding area. So thank you for that. And I know at times it gets to be an inconvenience for you, but it's certainly, I think, to the benefit of the public. We're sending out assessment notices the 7th. The 28th of May, 7,000 to owners of property in Star. The numbers were very early last year when I was here, it was June 1st. So we pretty much had everything all nailed down. There's still a state of flux for the next, probably the next 30 days at least. The appraisers are still going to be working on adjustments and whatnot. So the numbers we're going to talk about, they're close, but they're certainly going to change between now and when we send assessment notices out. I just want to just a couple of things here. Number one, the assessor does not raise taxes. The assessor does not set values in the market. The job of the assessor is to allocate values. The cities, the counties, the library districts, the schools, they set their budgets. It's what the assessor does is they decide how much each person is going to pay of that budget based upon the assessed value. And that assessed value is, we look what happened in the market last year, and that tells us what most likely the property was sold for January 1st this year. The second thing I would just like to make a note of, there is not a one-to-one correspondence between the increase in market value or taxable value and the taxes. And last year is a good example of how that became a problem. The prior year in 2020, when tax bills went out, there was a piece called the Governor Little's one-time tax reduction, reduced the taxes, used some state money to offset the taxes. Well, let's say, for example, you had a $400 reduction. That means that last year, January, for the bill that came out in 21, there was a deficit of the $400 that needed to be made up just to get even. So your tax bill went up that $400. And then it went up for any increase in budgets or values. So a person stopped me and said, Bob, my value went up 33%, my taxes went up 26%. And I told him that is probably has a lot to do with that deficit, if you will, was that hole that was created there from the previous year when the state money was used to offset part of the taxes. But typically, there's not that much of a dramatic change in your taxes. Just getting on here to some of the numbers here. Total market value in STAR is $3.3 billion. As you can see from up there, a little bit hard to read, but anyway, $3.3 billion, up 55% compared to last year's $2.2 billion. So we make some adjustments to that, take out the homeowner's exemption of $490 million. There are exemptions. There are a lot of exemptions that are still out there yet. I won't get those until really by statute until May 15th from the commissioners. But the exemptions that have been approved so far, subtract that from the total number of exemptions approved last year, there's still about $6 million of exemptions out there that need to be accounted for. So we subtract that out. Then you have operating property. That's the railroad tracks, pipelines, miles of wire, whatever that the state tax commission assesses operating property. They'll be getting that number over to us in August or early September. That's going to be about $13 million. That's a potential taxable value of about $2.8 billion. That's at 66% over last year. Talking about residential market value, not taxable value, $3.2 billion. That's an increase of 55% over the previous year. 32% increase for the existing median. So that's what we're looking at. Probably the average increase is going to be about 32%. MLS is 35%, 30 to 35%. So we're going to be somewhere right in there. Last year we had a 26% increase. We thought we would have a record number of appeals. Actually, we've never seen a 26% increase before. But actually, as it turned out, we had the fewest number of appeals that we'd had over 2 decades. And I think that was the press that just really gotten the word out to people. The values have been increasing. People were expecting that, so they weren't surprised. Median value of single-family residential in Ada County is $540,000 as of January of this year. The way we do our adjustments for residentials, we take sales from the prior year. So from 2021, we trend those up to a January 1st value. And then we look at that with the value we had January 1st of 2021 to an adjusted sales price for 2022. And that's how much we say we need to do. And the average, again, that's 32%. We had just about 12,000 sales in Ada County last year. Commercial property is 177 parcels valued at over $150 million. That's a 48% increase over the prior years. And median change in value for commercial is 21%. That's the highest I've ever seen it. It's usually around 5%. Last year we had a 14%, but 21% increase in median change for commercial. Personal property, 2.3 million. It's an increase of about 5%. Other jurisdictions, it's shrinking because anything, if a business has $100,000 or less of personal property, that's all exempt. And that is reimbursed by the state. Something that's important this year goes into effect. Rather than the $100,000, it'll be a $250,000 exemption for commercial personal property. So if you have a business that's $245,000, you will not be paying personal property taxes this year. Total market value, not taxable value, is $153 million. New construction, that is an important piece, because what new construction does is you take last year's levy times the new construction value, and that is how much you can increase your budget capacity by. So if your budget was $100,000, you can increase that. If your budget capacity went up 3%, you can add that 3% to your budget capacity.
To a maximum of 8% now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taxable value on new construction is 191 million. That's up 37% over last year. Residential is up 140 million. And commercial taxable is about $21.7 million. That's a whopping 205% increase. New sub change status is $29.5 million and over 80%. I just want to spend the last few minutes that I have talking about two things that are really important, I think, to you and to me. First, be tax burden. We talked about that last year. And then just some legislation that will be affecting you. But tax burden is really important. It's really becoming a big issue. In fact, it's becoming a big issue. I think it's because there's misunderstanding. Tax burden is who pays the property tax, residential or commercial. I just came out of a meeting earlier last week, and they completely misunderstood. They think that is what it is. It's the level of assessment. In other words, residential property is here over in Star pays 93% of the property tax, and commercial pays 7%. People think that we're under assessing commercial. That is not the case. That's the furthest from the case. The reason we have this this large difference between what residential is paying and what commercial is paying, if you think about it from there, it really makes a lot of sense. It's not because we're undervaluing commercial property. It's what it is you have a lot more residential property than you have commercial property. For example, you have 5,800 residential parcels, 27 times the number of commercial parcels. So that alone says residential is going to be even more. And then when you look at the new construction value, you have 453 new parcels in single family in residential new construction. That's 90 times the number of commercial parcels. And the value of the new construction is about 17 times, the commercial is 17 times the commercial. So it's just by the fact that there's a lot more residential property, it's increasing much faster, is why seems to be the divergence between residential and commercial for tax burden. That's tax burden. When people say you're not assessing them at the same rate, that now we're talking about level. And to me, that is the most important number as the assessor, because I have control over that. I don't have control over how many new homes are going to be built here in Star, what the value of those homes is going to be, how many new commercial parts are going. I can't control that at all. That's the market, something like that. But I can assess them at the level. And specifically, here in this is level. This is Ada County, state, countywide, and this comes from the Tax Commission. This is their study that they do. My work. Residential is 94%, statistically, 94% of the true value. I have to be at 100%. So that's the level for commercial or residential is 94%. Commercial, we're at 97%. So if anything, we're assessing commercial a little bit more. But without getting into all the statistics, one difference is residential, we have 11,000 sales we get to look at. So we have much better statistics, much more accuracy on the numbers. Commercial, we had about 140 commercial sales in Ada County. So we can't say we are as accurate. There's more variation in the numbers, but still, the fact of the matter is we are assessing residential at 94%, commercial at 97%. The last thing I just want to talk about here, if I may, is just a few legislative issues. Back in 2020, the legislature changed the homestead exemption deadline. This is important. It used to be April 15th. They changed it. This was in 2020, effective last year, that you could file for the homestead exemption anytime up through December 31st. Well, the impact of that on budgets are the fact that the budgets and everything are all set, the levies are set, and we're still getting homestead exemptions coming in. So we are actually reducing the value because of that exemption. And so this is going to end up being a loss to some of the taxing authorities. I was talking to a taxing authority the other day. They're losing about $400,000 because of this. The interpretation is that with this, the assessors throughout the state are looking at two different ways. There's some confusion there. We were hoping for this bill this year to clarify, but that did not happen. When someone files for it, the exemption will say December 1st, do they get the exemption for the entire year, 100% of the exemption, or do they get a fraction of the exemption? The Attorney General's office issued an opinion last year saying it is not to be prorated if they get it for the full year. There are some counties that disagree with that, and it's really not an opinion, it's a guidance letter, so that's not binding. So they are doing it on a prorated basis. And Ada County is going to be reevaluating our position because we would do it for the full year because of the AG's directive. But we're looking at perhaps doing a proration. So that's the change of the homestead exemption filing date. And then last year, there was a bill that was passed, House Bill 389. It increased the PTR benefit, property tax reduction, excuse me, our circuit breaker, to $1,500. But they also added something to it that if your property exceeded the median value in your county by 125%, you were not eligible for the property tax reduction on the circuit breaker program. If you need property tax relief, you could go to the deferral program. The deferral program is where the state pays the taxes, but that additional amount goes into a deferral program. And at the time the property changes hands, it's sold, then it is paid back. Now, this year, the legislature came out with a law, and it's effective now. They've changed that 125% to 150% median to qualify for it. Under the 125%, 7 people are going to drop off. Now you here in Star, now you'll just lose 2 people. So, Mr. Mayor, that's everything I have to say.
Any questions? Mr. McQuaid? Oh, Councilman?
I have a question, and maybe this is not something you can answer easy, but how does Star residential and commercial property tax burden compare with cities around us?
Okay, I've got a good comparison for you to put this into context. It's you probably are a little bit. Let me just take a look here. I think probably CUNA might have a little more, pretty close. It's 93%. You're getting up to the biggest in the 7%. Boise City, on the other hand, is about 68%, and residential and 32% commercial. So that's kind of the range that we're looking at there. And everybody else is falling in that range somewhere.
Thank you.
I
So you
was able
think
to answer
CUNA is
that.
about where we're at?
Pardon me?
You think CUNA is about where we're at? Is that what you were saying?
I think it is just right off the top of my head, although it's been a year, so who knows where they,
Right.
what I remember from a year ago, but it's going to be pretty close.
And just for everybody's info, this is just the Ada County portion of Star, not the Canyon County portion of Star,
Mr. Mayor, yes, and I should have made that clear.
right? So just so when you look at these numbers, that's just east of Canada Road.
Yeah.
On there. So, all right, cool.
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilman Nielsen?
So in relation to some of the legislative activity in the last couple of years, Mayor Chadwick brought up that, the maximum increase that we can take is 8%. Yet I'm looking at the overall increase to Star is 36.99%, so 37%. So subtracting that.
So where is that? What number is that?
On the new
37%?
construction.
New construction.
Okay.
So the city is unable to realize or to assess taxes. Let me rephrase that. We're unable to receive taxes from the new construction base at 29%. We're missing out versus what we could have done 2 years ago.
Well, that is way out of my wheelhouse, the levies. And so I'm not even going to attempt to go down and explain that and where you would be. The clerk's office are the ones who calculate what the levies are going to be. So, if you wanted to know that, perhaps a call to the clerk's office and they could answer that question.
Just on simple numbers, that's basically what you're just pointing out, the fact that
Right.
new construction is not paying its way.
I
and
think it's more of a
Star anymore.
statement than a question,
Okay.
Mr. McQuaid. So,
It's an interesting comment. I like that.
yeah, but I just want to highlight that this is one of the effects, because you also brought up the effect of, the homeowner's exemption you can now apply for it through the end of the year, which is great because if you miss the date, then you just missed out forever. And I like the fact that you can, do it in that year that you purchase the home. But the fact that then it's not prorated and it starts to cost the taxing districts, we put a budget together and now there's a deficit
Yes.
because of that. And so these are some of the things that our state legislators really need to understand. And they're simply not taking the time to talk with us, even at our request. And I think it's important for the citizens of Star to understand what Mayor Chadwick is doing and what his council's doing in an attempt to just have conversations, then we're not being heard. And this is in real time, real life, the effect that it has. We're missing 29% of our growth is not paying for itself. And that's a staggering statistic. So that's it. And I really appreciate your service. It's been fun to have you come do this. I love that you're the one that comes to make these reports.
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilwoman?
Councilor Nielsen, thank you for those kind words. I've really enjoyed coming out here. I'm going to miss it.
You can still come out here.
All right, I'll be here.
You just got to deal with the traffic.
Yeah.
Councilwoman?
Yeah, so I have a question. So for neighborhoods that say it's a single family home and they're like rental homes, but they're owned by the same owner, and they may have 10 homes. So do you, is that like when you assess that, does that fall in under the commercial or the residential? Because it is a business.
That's a very good question. Anything less 4 or less rentals, we assess as residential property. So a fourplex, duplex, triplex, we would assess that as single family residential. 5 or more, that's when we look at it as commercial.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
And just for his record, we have 80% home occupancy in Star. I did get that information from your office here not too long ago when we were talking about the legislature. So that's quite a bit. So,
Mr. Mayor, if I could just follow Mr. Nielsen's comment. I thought the assessors were the only ones the legislature wouldn't listen to. So.
it's a lot, Scott.
Potential legislators.
Potential legislatures out there. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anything else for okay? Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your service again. And
So good to see you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Okay, consent agenda. We'll move on to item 5. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilwoman,
I move to approve the consent agenda consisting of item 5A, approval of claims provided and previously paid. Item 5B, final plat, River Park Estates subdivision. And item 5C, final plat, Breitenbach Ridge subdivision.
okay, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second that.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilwoman?
I did have a question about item 5C. In the final plat, in the preliminary plat, we did have a pathway on the north section of the property, but the final plat, I didn't see any reference to that. So I was just wondering why it wasn't included.
Sean? Hang on one sec here. I'm gonna try to pull it up. You said Breitenbach?
Yes. So there is an irrigation district easement where I think that's where the pathway is shown in the preliminary plat. But there's nothing about a public easement.
Well, you're talking right here, right?
Yeah.
It says 10-foot path on public access
So
easement.
that's the preliminary plat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, my apologies. You're talking right here. Yeah.
Pathways aren't usually shown on final plats.
Okay. And neither is a public easement in the note. Because that was.
Are you looking at it, Sean? Is that what you're doing? Okay.
it's a condition of approval, so we'll make sure that that gets reviewed prior to signature.
Okay. All right, thank you for looking
Okay.
into that.
All right. Any further questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Hershey. Aye. Wheelock.
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Nielsen.
I,
Okay, that motion carries. On to item 6A, Parks, Art and Beautification Committee appointments. We're going to appointed 2 new members, and you guys will have to approve them. So the Parks, Art and Beautification Committee would like to have Cecile Porter and Claudia Sanders appointed to the committee. So entertain a motion to approve or not.
Yeah, I'll make that motion to
I'll-
approve.
Second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey.
Aye.
Wheelock.
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Nielsen.
I,
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. On to item 6B, the resolution for the adoption of the South of River sub-area plan. We approved that plan in our last, I think in our last meeting, right? And this we have to adopt it by resolution. So let me pull that up. And we need somebody, if you're so inclined to approve, read this, and
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey.
need the whole thing read?
Yep.
Okay. I move that we approve resolution number 01-0200. Resolution of the city of Star adopting the South of the River.
Is your microphone on?
Yes.
Okay, start over. You gotta start over. Sorry, but that'll help you. You got the
As much
first
as I
part out of the way.
butchered that, I'm fine starting over. I'd like to approve resolution number 001-2022. A resolution of the city of Star adopting the South of the River sub-area plan and providing an effective date. Whereas the mayor and city council have reviewed the South of the River sub-area plan, and whereas the mayor and city council have had significant resident, property owners, and agency input throughout appropriately noticed public hearings and meeting, and whereas the city council finds the plan should be adopted and included in the Star Comprehensive Plan, now therefore it be resolved, the plan attached hereto as Exhibit A is adopted as South of the River sub-area plan. Section 1, the city of Star hereby identifies the South of the River sub-area and creates a plan to guide future development of the identified area. The attachment Exhibit A. Section 2, the resolution shall take effect and be in force from and after the passage and approval, dated hopefully today and signed by you, sir.
Okay, we got a motion. We have a second.
Second,
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilwoman?
So I believe so during the public hearing, there was one condition that I just want to make sure we looked into. It was that small section.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I didn't see it changed in the land use map.
The map, the land use
future.
map is updated now, I believe, as of today. I asked Ryan about the same thing.
Okay.
You're talking the green space on the right?
Oh, no, there was a little,
Oh,
that little, it was neighborhood residential. It was
Oh.
east side of Star Road.
correct. On the,
Just want to make sure that
on
that's
the
between,
Beans property? Was that, I'm trying to remember, because we talked about a few of those, but I think it was the Beans property.
The hayfield of the beans, I
Yes.
thought.
So we just
Right
got to make
next to-
certain that that one shows neighborhood residential there.
Right, that was
John?
fixed.
Yeah, okay,
We'll double check.
okay.
okay, just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yep, any other comments?
Looks great.
Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Hershey.
Aye.
Wheelock.
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Nielsen.
I,
Had to think about that one. That motion carries. Our resolution passes. It'll be part of our comprehensive plan. That's a good thing. Okay, we're going to go on to item 6C, the findings of fact for Langtree Bugles subdivision amendment. I'm going to have Sean, I want you to speak to this, if you would, please.
Mr. Mayor and Council, we have before you a set of amended findings of fact. conclusions of law for Langtree Bungalows subdivision. February 15th, 2022, the original findings of fact were approved by City Council on March 1st, 2022. Staff received a letter from residents of the special transition overlay area north of the proposed Langtree Bungalow subdivision requesting reconsideration of the council's decision to approve the subdivision. March 28th, 2022, both the applicant and the group requesting the reconsideration came to an agreement on issues and concerns brought up as part of the reconsideration request. Staff has reviewed the proposed changes and confirms that the items that are being added to the amended conditions or the amended conditions within the findings of fact and will later be part of the development agreement are items that were all brought up in some way during the original public hearing process. And so if you would like, I can read into the record the changed conditions that will be also part of the development agreement. Those are provided in your staff report, by the way. Relocate the pickleball court for the natural area common lot to the central open space common lot south of the foothill ditch. Provide a loop trail in the natural area common lot, provide with a natural pathway surface. The loop trail will be located within 50 feet of the boundaries of the 3 lots adjacent to the natural area common lot. Except for the loop trail and any vegetation planted within the 50-foot area, the remainder of the natural area common lot shall not be disturbed except for the removal of dead vegetation. We are removing the council approval of the front yard setback reduction of 10 feet. So all setbacks shall conform to the R4 standards in place at the time of approval of the preliminary plan.
What does that actually end up being in feet? Is that a 20 feet?
What's that?
The R4 standard.
20 feet for garage, 15 foot for the living space. Yep.
Thank you.
The natural area common lot shall extend east to include a minimum area of 105 feet wide along the north boundary, north property boundary only adjacent to the transition zone. This common lot shall be landscaped between White Willow Lane and the north property boundary, including a berm with a mix of evergreen and deciduous trees planted along the top of and plantings on both sides. The berm shall start at the northeast corner of this common lot and run approximately 540 feet along the northern boundary and then curve southwest. It shall terminate approximately 50 feet north of the northmost lot on the west side of Black Elm Lane. The berm shall be 6 feet in height on the eastern half and 8 feet in height on the western half. This common lot shall be fenced with a 3-rail vinyl open fence 4 foot in height along the northern boundary and the western boundary terminating at the northern boundary of the foothill ditch irrigation easement. The one northernmost lot on the west side of Black Elm Lane is limited to a single-story home. And the applicant shall submit a revised preliminary plat and landscape plan with all conditioned changes to staff prior to approval of the development agreement. And then one last thing, I did take out the condition, provide a minimum of half-acre lots or open space along the northern boundary of the subdivision immediately adjacent to the transition zone. That's because the new conditions we placed in there removes those lots in favor of common area. So that condition is removed.
And this was agreed upon by the developer, landowner, and the adjoining landowners, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions of staff? Okay, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the findings of fact.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey,
with the testimony just received by Sean, I move that we approve the amended findings of facts and conclusions of law for Langtree Bungalow subdivision, AZ-21-11 and development agreement 21-16, preliminary plat 2115, NPR 2108.
Okay. We got a motion. We have a second.
I'll second that.
We got a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
Mayor Chadwick,
Councilman Nielsen?
just a question. I mean, this isn't an agenda item as a request for reconsideration. Has the request already been granted?
No, that's our next item on here. So if this passes, then the request for reconsideration is being dropped because the landowners up there that requested a reconsideration work with the developer. Okay,
Thank you.
any further questions? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson,
I,
Nielsen.
Okay, that motion carries. On the item 6D, that request for reconsideration, since we approved the new findings for that, has been removed off the agenda, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so we'll move on to item 6E. Ordinance 358 for Inspirato subdivision. Real quick though, I just want to make a comment. I do appreciate the landowners up there that abut the property and the developer for working together to resolve the dispute and stuff that they had. So I truly appreciate that. And you guys have been really involved over the last year and a half with everything that's been going on. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much on doing that. So, okay, item E, 6E,
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey.
I've had some counsel with the clerk and I can actually do some of this in a lump sum if you allow me.
So moved.
All right. All right. Now this is, I'm going to introduce and dispense all of them at once, but then we read them individually.
Okay, and just so everybody's aware, these ordinances are the final ordinances in the process. We've already had the public hearings and approved these previously. So, okay.
All right. So Mr. Mayor, I move to introduce and then I move pursuant to Idaho Code 50-902, the rule requiring an ordinance be written on 3 different days with one reading being full, be dispensed with, and that ordinances number 358-2022, 359-2022, 360-2022, 364-2022, 365-2022, 367-2022, be considered after reading once by title only.
Okay, we got a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilwoman?
So, just a question about the annexation path. Well, this applicant included, there was 2 or 3 other parcels, but they're not included in here. So does that not come back to council? Those other annexation pieces, it was the irrigation district and another small little parcel.
Mr. Mayor and Councilwoman, those parcels are part of the annexation and legal descriptions that are part of the Inspirato subdivision ordinance 358-2022.
Okay,
But so when we go back to the original public hearing, there was like 8 parcels included in that public hearing, but this one, there's only 5
6.
or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's actually 9 in the staff report for the public hearing,
So,
which include, and so the ones that aren't included are these, the ones owned by Pioneer Irrigation and Brandt.
Okay.
But the applicant was including those in their application.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you are correct. So we will have to bring a separate ordinance back for those additional 3.
so can we,
So
so,
we're part of the public hearing, correct?
yes,
And so when the council made the decision to approve the annexation application, those were all included.
Yeah.
So for tonight's purposes, I would just consider that a scrivener's error in the title and we can correct it as an amended ordinance.
Okay.
And so when
for
you-
this ordinance that we're approving
Yes, when
tonight?
you approve,
Okay.
when you have your motion to approve ordinance 358, I would just make sure that that ordinance includes the amendment, that it includes all of the parcels that were part of the public hearing.
And I can give
Is
you,
your microphone on?
yeah, I can give you the parcel numbers real fast if you want.
Yes.
read those in as part of the ordinance. Is that
Yep.
Those for 58, correct?
That's fine. I think you could even just do the ordinance with that amendment and that, yeah, and then we'll just add them later.
and then we can add, we'll add it to the title. Okay.
Good catch.
Yeah.
Clear clarification. Okay. All right. Any further discussion?
No, this is just dispensing the rules, basically.
Right. This is dispensing the rules. I just want to make sure.
Objection.
That's okay.
It's already in.
No, jumping
Now
the,
we can-
jumping the gun makes it easy. So, roll call.
David Hershey,
Aye.
Kevin Wheelock,
Aye.
Jennifer Simonson,
I,
Kevin Nielsen.
Aye.
Okay, so then that carries. So we have to read each one of these though.
Still have to do that.
Still
yes.
gotta do each
Can't
one of
get
them.
out of that.
Okay, you didn't get out of that one. Nice try though. So for the first one, ordinance 358-2022.
All right, we'll each have to take.
Mayor Chadwick,
Councilman Nielsen,
I move that we approve ordinance 358-2022 Inspirato Subdivision Annexation and Development Agreement DA 2111 and ordinance annexing to the city of Star certain real property located in the unincorporated area of Ada County, Idaho, more specifically located on the northeast corner of North Star Road and West Chinden Boulevard in Star, Idaho. Ada County parcels S0420336300, S0420336500, S0420315200, S0420428200, S0420325800, S0423258555, and contiguous to the city of Star. The property is owned by Antonov Star Holding LLC, establishing the zoning classification of the annexed property as residential, planned unit development with a development agreement R3 PUD-DA of approximately 124 acres, directing that certified copies of this ordinance be filed as provided by law, providing for related matters and providing for an effective date.
and do we need to add those? How, with the, adding the 2 additional properties with the scrivener error? Is that how you do that, Chris?
no,
No, no, but they're part of the annexation.
those 3 that are in red.
We'll figure it out and get it right. Because they're owned by public agencies. Typically, if they're inside the application, then they're automatically annexed with the application. It's kind of like you annex to the center of the highway, right? But we'll verify, but the ordinance should include that the ordinance, or the motion should include that the ordinance is going to be amended to include all the parcels.
So the motion includes, I'm amending the motion to include all of the parcels specifically
They were part of the public hearing.
that were part of the public hearing, specifically S0420417550, S0421325480, and S0421325570.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second,
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock, Simonson,
I,
Nielsen.
I,
Okay, that motion carries. On the item F, ordinance 359-2022.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey,
I move that we approve ordinance 359-2022 Star Point Subdivision Annexation and Development Agreement DA 21-09, an ordinance annexing to the city of Star certain real property located in unincorporated area of Ada County, Idaho, more specifically located at 6825 North Star Road in Star, Idaho, Ada County parcels S0419428100, S0418417750, and S4019428005. And contiguous to the city of Star, the property is owned by W West Development LLC, establishing the zoning classification of the annexed property as residential with the development agreement R3DA, approximately 29 acres, directing that certified copies of the ordinance be filed as provided by law, providing for related matters and providing for an effective date.
okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I was just waiting for you, Miss Jennifer. This, okay, good. Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey. Aye. Wheelock.
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Nielsen.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. On to item G, ordinance 3602022.
Don't we have to, are
We already dispensed of everything.
we on this one?
Yeah, we're on F. Yeah.
The
359.
buffet dispensing.
359.
I'm sorry, 35. No, we should be on, we're on G, right?
So
3602022. We just did that one.
Oh, we did both. of
Yeah.
them. Okay.
Just did 5-9. Yeah.
Oak Lawn Crossing. Okay,
Okay, Mayor Chadwick,
Councilwoman?
the motion, right?
Yep.
Okay. I move to approve ordinance number 3602022, Oakland Crossing Subdivision Annexation and Development Agreement, DA-21-10, an ordinance annexing to the city of Star certain real property located in the unincorporated area of Ada County, Idaho, more specifically located at 8005 West Joplin Road in Star, Idaho, Ada County parcel S0419417200 and contiguous to the city of Star. Property is owned by Pinnacle Land Development LLC, establishing the zoning classification of the annexed property as residential with a development agreement R-4-DA and mixed use with a development agreement MUDA of approximately 25.87 acres, directing that certified copies of this ordinance be filed as provided by law, providing for related matters and providing for an effective date.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey.
Aye.
Wheelock.
aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Nielsen.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. On the item H, ordinance 364-2022.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Wheelock.
making a motion that we pass ordinance 364-2022 Spring Tree Estates Subdivision Annexation and Development Agreement, DA 21-24, an ordinance annexing to the city of Star certain real property located in the unincorporated area of Ada County, Idaho, more specifically located at 9220 West Beacon Light Road in Star, Idaho, Ada County parcel S0333340020 and contiguous to the city of Star. The property is owned by River Birch Investments LLC, establishing the zoning classification of the annexed property as residential with a development agreement of R-3-DA of approximately 5.07 acres, directing that certified copies of this ordinance be filed and as provided by law, providing for related matters and providing for an effective date.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey.
Aye.
Wheelock.
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Nielsen.
Aye.
That motion carries. On to item I, ordinance number 365-2022.
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilman Nielsen.
I move that we approve ordinance 365-2022 Kirchner Dill Annexation and Development Agreement, DA-21-23, an ordinance annexing to the city of Star certain real property located in the unincorporated area of Ada County, Idaho, more specifically located at 2689 North Brandon Road in Star, Idaho, Ada County parcel R762-681-0020, and contiguous to the city of Star. The property is owned by Karen Kirshner Dill, establishing the zoning classification of the annexed property as residential with a development agreement R1DA of approximately 10.9 acres, directing that certified copies of this ordinance be filed as provided by law, providing for related matters and providing for an effective date.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey. Aye. Wheelock.
Aye.
Salmonson.
I,
Nielsen.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. We're moving on to item J, ordinance 367-2022.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey.
I move that we adopt ordinance 367-2022, Iron Mountain Vista Subdivision and Development Agreement, DA-21-21, an ordinance annexing to the city of Star certain real property located in the unincorporated area of Ada County, Idaho, more specifically located on West Floating Feather Road in Star, Idaho. Ada County parcels R 9545740040 and R 9545740050, and contiguous to the city of Star. The property is owned by TBC Land Holdings LLC, establishing a zoning classification of the annexed property as residential with a development agreement R-3-DA of approximately 16.46 acres, directing the certified copies of this ordinance be filed as provided by law, providing for related matters, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, we got a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Hershey.
Aye.
Wheelock.
Aye.
Nielsen.
Aye.
Salmonson.
I,
Okay, that motion carries. I can't believe you skipped you. I was like, wait a minute.
I just made a comment to Jennifer that he's so predictable and then he does that.
And then he does that. All right, we're done with the ordinances. Excuse me. We're gonna move on to our
oh,
public hearing here on the Life Springs Church conditional use permit. Give me just a second to pull this stuff up. And we're gonna open the public hearing at 7:51, and I'm gonna ask the council if they have any ex parte contact or communication relating to this project.
None.
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 Okay,
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilwoman?
I'd just like to, I guess, disclose, Larry and I work very close together on a variety of projects, but I believe that I can make my decision impartially.
Okay, good enough, Mr. Chris? Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. Mr. Larry, are you presenting, or who's presenting? Both of you? Okay, I'm going to, let me start the slideshow, and you should be able to, hopefully, and you just pointed this direction, Larry? This direction? Yeah. There we go. There we go. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. Thank you for the opportunity to present our project to you this evening. My name's Mike Maglish, and my residence is at 2567 East Apricot Court in Meridian. I will be presenting this alongside with Larry Osborne regarding the modular that we are looking to put on the south side of the Life Spring Christian Church building. So we're going to move on to the next slide here as we get started with this. It's a 55-foot by 12-foot modular for the purpose of, it's a temporary space here being put out in that grass area by the church for the purpose of adding additional space so that we can get space for our children on Sunday mornings, primarily. For the next 2 years or so, we're going to have this building out there for that space. Also, it's going to be hardwired into the church building, electrical and fire. So meeting all the code and everything we're looking to do for that. I'm going to have Larry get into some of the particulars here as far as what is going to be involved with this module.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, staff. Larry Osborne, 1855 North Ice Fireplace, Star. And so, as Mike said, we're looking at putting a modular out. This is a floor plan, copy of the floor plan. As you can see, the X's that are there for the lights and some of the air conditioning units and all that. I'd like to call your attention to where the little piece is. Do I have a pointer on here?
Yep.
Where's it at?
Should be,
On the side?
yeah.
It is on. It's not that one.
Okay, you're done.
I use this finger.
There it is.
There it is.
You'll notice right here, it says AC. I'll come back to that in just a moment. But I just wanted you to see that. So as Mike said, it is 12 feet wide and 56 feet in length. This is what it looks like. basically. The piece that'll be good for you to know is this will not be here, this piece right here. It's going to be a ramp. I'll explain that part here in a moment, but this one will. There's 2 lights that are here, and then that AC unit I talked about is out here on this side.
That on the west or the east end?
It'll be on the west end. I'll get to that here in just a moment to explain why that's there. This is a ramp, but if you can picture it the other direction. So if it, the way it's kind of, this landing would be at the front door if it's going this way, but the ramp is going to go actually the other way with the landing here and then tying in. So it'll be located right here next to the building. The ramp will come off of the side and then tie right into the sidewalk. So if there's a wheelchair or somebody that needs to access, they can just go down the sidewalk to the ramp, come over, up, and into this door that's here. And then this door is, we're trying to get it somewhat close to where the kitchen entrance is, so that for the kids that may need to go to the restroom, they've got an access to be able to just go right into that. So it's going to be fairly close to that from what the guys have talked to us about with that. So as I said, the ramp, where the ramp's going to be placed at, the placement of the modular on the southeast side of the building, we feel will help the neighborhood in a couple of ways. One, as I commented earlier about the lights that are going to be on the side, they will be facing the building. So there'll be no fugitive light that's going to be going out. There's already some lights on the building for security and safety. So these lights will be facing the building. So it's not going to do anything to the neighbors. The other thing is the HVAC system is on the front side here. So the noise from it will be heading out to the parking lot, not to the neighbors here. So, and at this point, we're only planning on using it on Sundays. We don't see any other use for it. We're just outgrowing the room that we have. We are planning on doing something in the future with this part right here that's in light green. So this is going to help us for a couple of years while we raise the money to be able to do that project. So that's what we have. Once again, want to thank you for your time and attention to this project. We are asking for a favorable vote to allow us to proceed forward with the project.
Okay, any questions of the applicant?
Mayor Chadwick,
Councilman Nielsen?
is your request a 2-year time limit, or are you just representing that that's the intent?
That's the intent. We're hoping to raise the money to finish that piece on the front. That'll add 7 new classrooms. So we're hoping in 2 years we'll have the money to be able to do that.
Color that you plan to paint it, was the picture representative?
Yes, we're not going to have it match the color of the building. We're going with what they've got for us.
Is there any opposition to painting it the color of the building?
We didn't ask. I can ask and find out if that's a possibility. I know the skirting is provided as well with it, so, but we can check and see.
Okay, any further questions?
Mayor Chadwick?
Councilwoman?
So regarding the irrigation in that grassy area, will it have any effect with the drainage?
Not with the drainage. I spoke with Tom Earlbach, who installed the sprinkler system for us and all. And so the sprinklers are along this part right here beside the building, as well as along the fence. So he stated that after the building, the modular's in, he'll come and cap these off and whatever we need to cap here so the ramp doesn't get too much water, but we'll still be able to irrigate or to have water for that. But there's the irrigation, really it comes out to here. There's a drain that goes right along here over, and then it ties in here. So it'll just soak, whatever it is, will soak into the ground.
So there's no water that sits in there?
No.
Okay.
Okay, any further questions?
I have a question. And I don't know if it's normal if we say you're looking to use it for 2 years, if we say, can we revisit this in 3? And see if it's something that we would still like to have, or if you still need, is that something you'd be against?
No, not at all.
Okay.
We're hoping to have it in less than a year if we can.
Yeah.
Depends on how God provides the money.
Sure.
Outstanding. Okay, any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
I just had one person sign up, Michael Keys is
Oh.
for it. Yes.
Pardon me. I have one letter to introduce from a neighbor that was in favor of that. I
Okay.
just got it this afternoon and she says that she's in favor of putting the modular building there. The addition building causes no issues or concerns for her.
Okay, we'll just give that to Mr. Jacob there so we can. Yes, please.
Her name is Maria Presel or Poisel, excuse me. She is the owner of 224 North Star Road in Star.
Okay, thank you, Larry. So we have Michael Keys who is in favor of it and he said maybe. Do you want to speak? So he doesn't want to speak, so we're good. That's all that signed up. Is anybody online that wants to speak, Miss Dana? Okay, nobody's online, so did you guys want to rebut anything or have anything in closing?
We're excited about the possibility of having it and being able to move forward. If it is passed tonight, then we hope to have it delivered tomorrow and try to have everything ready for Easter.
Well, that's quick.
We're trusting God that it'll, he'll lead the way.
Try not to have any grass grow under your building. or
That's
your
it,
feet.
exactly.
So, I was gonna ask a question here. Any questions of the app? Any further questions of the app? Okay, hearing none, thank you. At 8:01, we'll close the public hearing and go on to council deliberations.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey?
I'm fine with it as is. I don't need the 3-year revisit, but if we have to have it, that's totally cool. I have no concerns with this at all. And so therefore, I'm going to move that we approve this. Approve, I just lost the title of it. Sorry. Oh, thanks. Approve the Life Springs Church conditional use permit 22-02.
Okay, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second,
We got a motion, and a second. Any further discussion?
Mayor Chadwick,
Councilman Nielsen?
I wonder if Councilman Hershey, that you would amend your motion and request that the applicant apply a coat of paint that is matching with the building.
Make that amendment. However, I want to clarify that only if they are allowed to. It's a rental, they might not be allowed to paint it.
Agreed.
Okay, we got an amended motion.
No loud colors. Oh, sorry.
Do we got an amended second?
yeah, yes.
We got a minute second. Any further discussion?
Just that 3-year revisit is just to, so that we, if the whole thing goes in disrepair, we have a way to get it moved is the only reason. I don't know that
I'll amend
not
that.
for that. But
Jacob loves the amendments, I'm gonna tell you.
All right, let me restate.
Can I say, let's just all have faith.
All right, that sounds good too.
And can't the staff do something about that? I mean, if it becomes a blight, like
It's a
you know,
conditional use permit, so you
Yeah.
can
That's
have a
true.
hearing and remove it.
You need to put it as a condition if you're wanting to have that.
So,
yeah, I'm
so,
good with removing it if we have a,
Give
if we
staff
have a
some-
tool, if we need it.
so just restate your motion there, Mr. David, clearly for,
All right, I move that we approve the Life Springs Church conditional use permit CUP-22-02 with the conditions that if they can paint it to match the building, that'd be agreeable. And if necessary, we revisit it after 3 years.
okay, we got a motion. We have a second?
second,
We got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Nielsen,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson,
I.
Hershey,
Aye.
Keys.
That motion carries. There you go. So I guess it gets delivered tomorrow. With that said, believe it or not, it's 8:04. Nothing left on the agenda. I think that's a record and we're going to adjourn.